So you don't want to come in, huh? What is this?
What coffee? Hazelnut or coffee?
Huh?
Hazelnut or coffee? Hazelnut.
Yeah, that's not a good thing, you know, that is food. Hazelnut, coffee.
For morning coffee, for morning
Yeah,
breakfast.
for morning, it's okay.
For morning breakfast.
Yeah.
It's
For morning breakfast, yeah. Yes.
Lemongrass.
That's okay.
Lemongrass.
It's all about the body, it's all about the body. You finished with your thermos flask? Huh? Isn't that so important, more important than listening to a talk? Huh? We are so busy with life, we miss life. Understand that? No. We are so busy with living our life that we miss life. Yeah? Busy with this, busy with that. Yeah? Not really living, yeah? Concern, you know, our only concern is about this body, yeah? The health of the body, yeah? I mean, who put that frog into your ears, yeah? I mean, think about how people lived, 50 or 80 years ago. There were no pills for this, there were no pills for that, yeah? And people were still living, yeah? Probably more healthier than now, with all these pills, with all these medicines. Huh? Think about your grandma, huh? Yeah. They knew, if they had this kind of problem, they brewed up this kind of tea, yeah, and that was gone. Yeah. Now we constantly run to the doctor. Oh, yeah. Miss all this opportunity of life. Yeah? But it's your life, it's not my life. You have to live it. I don't have to live your life. And sometimes I thank God when I look at, I don't want to live this life anymore. Yeah. So much dukkha, so much worries. Yeah. Constantly thinking about the future that hasn't arrived, thinking about the past, that has gone. Trying to change what we have done in the past. Yeah? Cannot be changed, the past cannot be changed, the future we don't know. Yeah? Next moment we drop dead, yeah? So all the future is gone. Yeah? We don't know. What did I say this morning? Multiple choice. Yeah? That's all what we have. No freedom. We have the freedom to choose between choices that are made for us. Do I do this? Do I do that? Yeah? What kind of life is that? Yeah? Freedom. Yeah? But for freedom we have to fight. Yeah? Every moment. Yeah? We have to fight for freedom. Yeah? It's not coming easy. Going against the grain, yeah? Swimming against the stream. Swimming against the stream to reach the source of the water, yeah? To reach the source of life. Yeah? But that is hard work, and everybody who has swam against the stream knows it's hard work. Yeah? To flow with the stream is much easier. Yeah? Where do we flow? Yeah, where everybody else flows. Yeah? Just like Jesus said, the mass is going through the broad door that leads to destruction. Only a few take the stony path that leads to the heaven. Yeah? Lord Buddha was more precise. Yeah? You remember that? When the Venerable Ananda asked him how many people are going to heaven, how many people are going to hell, he said, you see the bull over there? How many horns does he have? That's how the people are going to heaven. How many hairs does he have on his fur? 1 million. That's the people go to hell. So, lots. Yeah? But it's up to us to choose. Yeah? If we just follow our karma, yeah, where do we end up? We don't know. Yeah? You probably can imagine, just the same kind of life that you lived so far. Yeah? Maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit worse. Yeah? Where should the change come from? Yeah? Yeah? If you think, the next life will be better, if this life is already shitty, how can the next life be better if you don't do anything? Huh? But we dream, we love to dream, next life will be better, tomorrow will be better, yeah? And we dream on, and our dreams never realize, yeah? Just like we dream to become a millionaire and don't do anything for it, yeah? Just like the dream of, Nibbana, yeah? And then we read a lot about Nibbana and we imagine to be in Nibbana, but we haven't moved one step forward. Because it's so difficult to walk. Yeah? Especially if we're in the desert, it is difficult to walk. And we have to cross all sorts of land. Yeah? We have to cross the desert. Yeah? We have to cross the dangerous forest. Yeah? We have to cross the meadows, and so on. It's all there. The choices that we have, are multiple. Yeah? We do have lots of choices. Every moment we have the choice. Yeah? But what normally, takes place is the choice, of the strongest comer. And that pulls us. Yeah? It's a force, just like water, wild water. Yeah? The force of the current is quite strong. Yeah? And that is the strongest karma that we have, and it pulls. Most of the people, are just pulled by it, and they don't want to go against the stream. But at any moment, do we have other choices? We have lived other lives, We have been practicing before. Most of us probably have been recluses before. Yeah? Someone asked, who tried to practice. Yeah? And then we gave up because it was so difficult. This life we try again a little bit, then we give up again, because it's so difficult. Yeah? Next life we try again, until, one life we succeed, becoming a recluse for most of our life. Yeah? And then it becomes easier. Just like running a marathon. Yeah? The first kilometer is very difficult, very hard. Yeah? Second, third, it gets a little bit easier. After the 5th kilometer, it is just running, just jogging, just running. Yeah? But the first steps are always very difficult. Yeah? We have to go against the grain, against our own evil. Yeah? We have to change the evil into good. Yeah? Whatever is unwholesome, we have to change to become wholesome. Whatever wholesomeness is not developed, we have to develop. Yeah? And if some remember the teaching of the Buddha, that's what the Lord Buddha said, that is the teaching of all the Buddhas. Every Buddha teaches the same thing. Yeah? Get rid of the unwholesome, develop the good. Yeah? And only if we develop all the good, then we can get rid even of the good. In order not to come back. We have to put in some effort. When I look at you, you're already dead. There's no motivation. Yeah, where's your motivation? Huh? Yeah, maybe I try a little bit. Huh? Oh, it's so difficult. Yeah. Resting is better, yeah. We have to be motivated, we have to be highly spirited, to go this path, because it's a difficult path. Climbing up the rocks is not an easy way, yeah. Each step, we have to be careful. But the higher we climb, the more we see. People living in, living in the valleys, they don't see outside of the valley, and the valley is very small. They don't know what is going on in this world. Yeah? The higher I climb, the more I see what is going on in the world. Yeah? The more I understand. Yeah? But it's difficult, so people stay in the valley. Yeah? And we are sure, because everybody around us stays there as well. So we feel comfortable. Yeah? Nobody tries to escape. Yeah? If everybody tries to escape and we are left behind, we will put our legs between the hands, and run. Yeah? But because everybody stays on, we think, if they don't do anything, can't be so wrong. Yeah. Isn't that what we think? Yeah? If they do it, if most of the people do it, it cannot be that wrong. Yeah? Then we should remember the bull, with all these many hairs, yeah? What is it? Yeah? You really have to think, yeah? Really, once in a while, not all the time, once in a while think straight. What is it what you want to take with you when you die? Yeah? And death can come any moment. Yeah? What? Yeah? The money that you earn, you can't take with you. The children that you have, you can't take with you. The house that you build, you can't take with you. Yeah? All the clothes that you bought, you can't take with you. The shoes, yeah, whatever. Yeah? So what is it? Yeah? What is it that you want to take with you? Yeah? When you die, yeah? And we die sooner or later. Yeah? The only thing that we can take with us is developing the good karma and the bad karma. So, we better make a lot of good karma. Yeah? We don't want to suffer in the next life as much as we suffered in this life. Yeah? Or we don't want to have as much dukkha in this life as we had in the next life as we had in this. Yeah? Or we even want to get on the path that leads out of this hamster wheel. Imagine somebody standing above the world, above this earth, and observing, all the planes, all the ships, yeah, going round and round and round and not going anywhere. Yeah? But the people underneath on the earth think they are going somewhere. Yeah? But from the space above, they don't go anywhere. Yeah? Just like the hamster in the hamster wheel. Yeah? They think they are going, they're working hard. I'm really interested what they all note down. Yeah? What are you writing down? Huh? Things that you shouldn't forget, yeah? If you listen with your heart, you don't forget these things. If you write them down, you certainly will forget them very quickly. Because it's then on paper, and you will never look at this paper anymore. We're not at university where you make notes and afterwards, next day there will be a test. So the Lord Buddha taught us everything. Yeah. He laid out, he saw the laws of this universe, yeah? So, if you want to live on, have a nice and happy life, if you want to go to heaven, there's a way, yeah? If you want to get out, there's a way, yeah? If you want to become beautiful, there's a way. If you want to become powerful, there's a way, yeah? If you want to become rich, there's a way. The Lord Buddha taught it all. How to do it, how to achieve. And the problem is, people want to get rich, but they don't want to give. Yeah? and you can only attain to richness if you give. Isn't that strange? Yeah? People who are very generous, in the next life become very rich, yeah? Huh? So you have to give that first what you want to have. Huh? Tough, isn't it? Doesn't sound like very, very interesting. I mean, playing the lottery is much easier. Huh? Hope. We won't win in the lottery if we don't have the karma to win. Yeah? But people don't understand it. Yeah. So if we serve, others, we will become beautiful or handsome. Yeah? So we first have to do something. Yeah. It's just like each farmer. He first has to plant the rice. Yeah, in order to be able to eat the rice. Huh? I mean, generations before us knew that, Most of us were, at that time were farmers, yeah? So they knew it, yeah? I mean, they can't eat anything, if they don't grow it, yeah? So why should it be different with our lives, yeah? But we think, there's some magic, there's some gods or God, that we can pray to, please, yeah? Lift me up. But they worked hard to get gods. They worked very hard, yeah? First of all, they respected the 5 silas, yeah? And then they had to develop a lot of generosity, a lot of respect, a lot of gratitude, yeah? In order to go to heaven. Yeah? And even more silas, even more virtues if they want to become gods. And then they can reign for 100,000 or 200,000 years, and then where do they end up? Misuse of power? Hell. Or abuse of power. Yeah? Because anybody who is powerful, we know power corrupts. Yeah? And we don't think about, the consequences because we have the power to do anything. Yeah? So what goes up, yeah? Everybody knows, must come down. Yeah? And that is the life that it's quite kind of bleak, yeah, when we look at it, but that's the life, that is in front of us. Yeah? We work very hard to get up, and we easily come down. Yeah? And then we work very hard to get up, and then we easily come down. That's not a nice perspective, is it? But there's a way out, and that's why the Lord Buddha came. And he said, okay, you don't have to do that. You can choose the path out. Yeah? And the path out is the path, yeah? First of all, of sila, yeah? But also, we can only go the path, yeah? I only sometimes mention it, if we develop some of these virtues, yeah, that are necessary for go to heaven. Yeah? So, that means generosity, yeah? Respect, and gratitude. Because somebody who enters the stream is only reborn in heaven or in a human realm. Yeah? So he does have to develop these kind of virtues as well as the 5 silas. Yeah? And then we have to develop samadhi, and that's what is really difficult. Concentration. Yeah? Concentration on one point. Yeah? Concentration, be it at the tip of the nose, on the breath, knowing one breathes in, knowing one breathes out. Or concentration on the Buddha. Or if it is too difficult, put with breathing in, do with breathing out. Yeah? And whenever there's a thought, whenever there's a memory, we go back. Yeah? Back to the Buddha, back to the breath. And that's what we have to train. And this training can be very long. Yeah? It's just like the training that when we used to, to inhabit this body, when we train to learn to walk, yeah? Or when we train to learn to talk. It didn't take us a day to talk. It didn't take us a week. I mean, we really had to learn it for a long time. How long? Normally between a year and 2 years, yeah? Walking the same thing, between a year and 2 years, yeah? And then we start a meditation course, and within 10 days we want to meditate, be able to meditate. Huh? And think about, I mean, some of you are mothers, yeah? I mean, you watch your children learn to walk, yeah? I mean, they nearly did it 12 hours, 14 hours a day. Always trying, always trying, always trying. Yeah? So if you meditate like that, within a year, you will be able to do it. Yeah? But we are so busy. We don't have time anymore. A child has all the time. Yeah? And we think we don't have the time anymore. Yeah? We have to do this, we have to do that, then we have to do that. Yeah? And, okay, I need to meditate, 5 minutes. Okay, let's sit down. 10 minutes. We are so busy with life, so we forget about all these important things. Yeah? But what is so important? I mean, I tried it out, the moment I started meditating. What is so important in my life? Yeah? And then I dropped this, and then I dropped that. What I think was absolutely necessary, I said, okay, let's see if it's really necessary. Yeah? I dropped it, I dropped that, I dropped that. And in the end, I had all the free time. I never was busy again. I only thought that I need to do this and need to do that. Attend this meeting, attend to that meeting, go to this, yeah. And I never had time, When I started meditating and dropping all this, in the end, I always had time. Huh? Friend called me, do you have time? Yes, sure, why not? Now? Yes. Normally you had to book in advance, 2 or 3 weeks. Or in 3 weeks, I might have a spare spot. No. Any moment, for everything. Yeah? There was nothing anymore in my calendar. Yeah? I mean, it's so amazing, And people, are so astonished. Yeah? What? Yeah? Can we meet today? Yes. Why not? We are the ones, who make ourselves busy. Yeah? And we think, yeah? Just like I see a little bit here, but I see it in a lot of monasteries. Yeah? First they build this, that is necessary, yes, we build this. And then they have another idea, then they build this, and they never stop building. Huh? This needs to be done. Yeah? The more we build, the more we feel we need to build more and more and more and more and more. Yeah? Until the whole place, is full of cement, yeah? Full of stones, yeah? And there's no more trees around it. Yeah? This needs to be built, this is. Yeah? Doesn't matter if it is here, Bodhi Heart, or if it is in our monastery. Yeah? Because they started, and they thought it is important, and the more they build, the more important it becomes. Yeah? That's why Lungta Mahaprabhu said, no building work. Yeah? Don't even start with it. Yeah? And if he was away in Bangkok for 3 weeks, then one of the senior monks said, let's build this godam, yeah, let's build this storehouse, yeah. And then he came back, who was that? Yeah? I said, no building work, yeah. Because he knows, how much it drives, yeah. It's so difficult, yeah. To sit and meditate all day long. Yeah? That's what Lungta Mahaprabhu wanted, from his monks. Yeah? You come here to meditate. Yeah? If you want to do something else, go someplace else. Yeah? Here's only meditation. Yeah? And checking on the monks, 3 times a day. What is he doing? Yeah? Sleeping? We caught him sleeping 3 times out. Yeah? You're here to meditate, you're not here to sleep, yeah? Or doing this or doing that, or chit-chatting, yeah? I mean, only one time, yeah? And then if it wasn't really necessary, I mean, he was out, yeah? That is the important thing, in a monastery. Yeah? I'm not talking about, lay life. Lay life, you have to look after your life. I mean, you have to earn some money, to have some food, yeah? Nobody comes to you and, may you have some food, can you? Would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah? Somebody comes, cooks food for you. Yeah, if you have the good merit, maybe it happens, yeah? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you need some? Do you need some blankets? Yeah. Do you need some soap? Would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah? It does happen to the monks. Yeah. Not to all of the monks. Yeah. Some monasteries or some monks, are really poorly, looked after. Others are really, looked after over the top. Yeah. It depends all on the karma. But when once we are looked after, I mean, we should spend our time in practicing. Yeah? And you should spend the time that you don't look after the body, also practicing. Yeah? Cleaning the heart, not only cleaning the body. So when you take a shower, clean the heart as well. Yeah? Putto, 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 putto. Have you ever been aware, when you take a shower? What goes through your mind? When you eat, what goes through your mind? Huh? You can be, there's so many situations in your life, when you wash the dishes. What do you think about? The next moment? What do you want to do afterwards? Yeah? You do this and you already think what you want to do afterwards? I mean, that is missing our life. Yeah? That's missing the opportunity to be present in this moment, yeah? Or being aware. Yeah? And then washing dishes or washing the clothes can be fun. It can be really fun. Because the movements of eating, the movements of washing, the movements of whatever you think it is pleasure, are just movements of the body. And you define one movement to be disgusting and another movement, to be exciting. It's you who defines that. Just reprogram it, yeah, and then you think, that's interesting. The moment you have sati, everything becomes really interesting. And you get also happiness and joy into your heart. Instead of thinking, I have to do this, after this I have to do this, and then you don't even want to stop. Huh? If you just think about this job now, okay, let's have Buddha or let's have sati with it, yeah, and then do it, yeah, and then once you're finished, then you can, the next thing comes, yeah, and then the next thing comes. Yeah? But constantly thinking about, today I have to do this. You don't even want to start. You don't want even to get out of bed anymore. Huh? You wake up, and then you look around, Buddha in your heart, yeah? Okay, what is there to do? If there's nothing to do, then just sit in meditation, yeah? Until something comes up, yeah? Okay, now I'm hungry, okay, let's have something to eat, yeah? Then you eat something, and then what is there to do? Nothing to do. Okay, let's sit in meditation. Let's make life easier. Huh? Don't so complicate it. Yeah? I mean, now even lay people need a planner. What am I doing? 9 o'clock this meeting. 10 o'clock this. Huh? And it's not even on, since you have these smartphones, it is all on your smartphone. And you lose your smartphone, my life is lost. My whole life is gone. Congratulations, now you're alive. Now you're back. Yeah? All this planning is gone. Now you're, at least for a moment, until you buy your next smartphone and program it again. At least you're alive, at least you're aware of what is going on. You are the ones. I mean, I told you before, you are the ones who make yourself stress. Yeah? By trying to accomplish this, trying to accomplish that. Yeah? We don't have to accomplish anything. Just being aware what is going on. Every moment. Yeah? Knowing what is going through our mind or knowing what is going through our heart when we do this or that. Yeah? What kind of thoughts are coming up when you're eating? That's the most difficult one. Okay, let's start with something else. What goes through the mind when we wash our body? Huh? Do we know it? No. Already you know what am I going to do next, yeah? Huh? And then, we do the next thing and already are with the next thing. Yeah? Or even 3 steps ahead. Yeah? That's not life. Yeah? And that doesn't bring any happiness. That only brings, I still have to do this, I still have to do, The happiness is to stay in this very moment, yeah? And see. And only then, if you stay in this present moment, we have all the choices. Yeah? Not only 1 or 2 choices. We have 16 choices. Yeah? And we even would have one choice of completely freedom. Not to do anything that is related to karma. We do have that. But we constantly miss it because we choose the one that is predominant. Or that one that is marked in bold, yeah? The strongest karma, the strongest current. Yeah? Karma is nothing else than current. Yeah? But at any moment, we do have these different kinds of karma that we work, in different lives. Yeah? It's still there. It is present, but it is not predominant. We don't see. Yeah? Because we don't live in this moment, so we can't see. And it's up to you, to make yourself aware. Okay. And in the beginning, it's just, okay, if I don't have to do anything, let's sit in meditation. Let's do some practice. Is this really important what I have to do? If it is not feeding the body, if it is not cleaning the body, if it is not housing the body, it's not so important. Let's rather sit in meditation. Yeah? Oh, I don't have to talk to this person, let's talk Buddha. And it is more relaxing, yeah? Each conversation we have, agitates the mind. Yeah? And we think about this conversation. Yeah? And just go, when you're here in this retreat, yeah, just have a few words, yeah, with somebody, about this or that, yeah. Then you go back and sit in meditation, and then you think for at least 20 minutes about this conversation, what you should have said, yeah. Why you didn't say this, yeah. And why was he saying this, yeah. Oh, that's a waste of time, yeah. Goethe, a very famous German writer, said, one time, to talk is silver and to be silent is gold, yeah? So be silent, yeah? Be with the Buddha, be with the awareness, yeah? What is it? What is the need to talk to another person, yeah? Because we are lonely, yeah? We want to have feedback, yeah? How other people see us because we are not sure of ourselves. I'm the way I am, so I don't care, yeah? What other people think about me. If they think good, you can't change their thinking. It is already difficult to change your own thinking, yeah? So you can't change other people's thinking, other people's idea about you, yeah? If they're bad, they are bad, say, okay, if you think like that, it's your view and I can't change it. And then see how people react very differently. Because they expect, for us to defend ourselves. Yeah? But if we don't defend ourselves, we don't have any troubles. Yeah? Makes life so much easier. What? You think I'm an asshole? Okay. Maybe you want to tell me why? Maybe I can understand why you think like this, yeah? That takes all the heat out, yeah? A lot of arguments, yeah? Especially between partners, it takes all the heat out. Yeah? He accuses us of something, and then we say, okay, yeah. Maybe, yeah. Why? And it makes our life much easier. If we take out the heat, of these conversations, no matter if it is our partner or if it is a colleague at work, we can live easily. Yeah? The problem is for us, a lot of the problem is to live up to the standards of other people. Huh? Why do we want to live up to the standards of other people? Yeah? We want to be acknowledged. Yeah? Yeah. We are afraid, to put into a corner. Yeah? I mean, people, this person, expects this from us. Another person expects something else from us. And we constantly try to meet their expectations. Oh, what kind of work is that? Yeah? And we can't, because they change their mind, overnight. The next day they expect something else. Oh, how did I know that? Yeah? So just be yourself, be aware, and do the best that you can do. Yeah? And if you do a mistake, then say, okay, sorry, I did a mistake. I try to better myself. More you can't do. Yeah? Don't be taken aback, by making a mistake. Huh? The only thing, people who don't make mistakes, yeah, they are stupid. The only way we can learn is through making mistakes. Otherwise, we don't learn a thing. People are afraid to make mistakes, stay stupid. Yeah? But if we don't learn, yeah, from our mistakes, then we are more stupid. Yeah? Huh? If you make the same mistake over and over again, and don't care, then we get more stupid. Yeah? But making a mistake and learning from this mistake can only develop wisdom, common wisdom. Yeah? And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah? Just say, sorry, made a mistake, try not to do it again. Yeah? That's the end of the matter. Yeah? And all the heat is gone. All the anger that flares up, why did you see this mistake? Yeah? I should have covered it up better. No, thank you to show me that I did a mistake. Yeah? Thank you for showing me that I'm not perfect. Thank you for showing me something that I have not seen. Yeah? Because we can't see everything. Yeah? So we need other people to point some things out. Yeah? So be grateful. I know I am asking a lot, but I mean, that's the idea. Yeah? If you want to live a happy life, that's the idea. Yeah? Go working on that. Yeah? And I don't tell you anything that I haven't done. Yeah? I've done it, and I've noticed, that life changes really. Yeah? Changes 180 degrees, things become much more fun, yeah? Life becomes really actually fun, yeah? You wait every moment, so what is going to happen next, yeah? No plans, yeah? What is going to happen next, yeah? And then you see the situation arise, yeah? Okay, that's fun, yeah? Because now you're in control. Before, your program was in control, yeah? You don't want to upset this person, you don't want to upset that person, you want to live to the expectation of that person. Yeah? That's not much fun. Yeah? Being there, and then actually you meet the other person on a different level. You meet him on the level of the heart to heart. Yeah? Even that person doesn't even know it. Yeah? So they will always be surprised. Yeah? Because when you have a conversation, you're not talking about what he's talking about, but you're talking about what his heart is asking. You're giving him the answers that his heart is asking, but he puts into a strange language. Yeah? Listening, yeah? I mean, all beings have one language. It's a universal language. Yeah? Be it animals, be it human beings. Yeah? And that's the language of the heart. Yeah? So if we connect to our heart, we know the heart of others. Yeah? We know what they really want to talk about. Even if they talk about business, they might say, I'm so lonely, And then we answer, there's another way, I mean, why don't you try this or that, or why don't you do that, yeah? Or you comfort him, yeah? All people are lonely, And then he will be completely surprised. Yeah? Because you're not talking about his business problems, You're talking about his heart problems. Huh? But it's all things that we have to learn. Yeah? It's not that, this comes naturally. It's hard work, yeah? It's really hard work, yeah? And I know it from my own experience, yeah? I wasn't always a nice person. Yeah? I was pretty selfish, yeah? Very selfish, actually. And very harsh on others. But I learned it. And it was very tough for me, yeah? Always to see, my own conceit, getting in the way, yeah? That I'm better than others, yeah? I'm smarter than others, yeah? I'm without fault, and then I said, you're always without fault, that there's something wrong, yeah? It cannot be, why do you run into all these problems when you are without fault? There must be something wrong with inside you. Yeah? And then I started to look inside. And when I started to look inside, it's just like, all the dust is coming up. Yeah? Oh, so much things to see. But the moment I look outside, I didn't see anything. Yeah? And that's what we tend to do. Yeah? We look at the faults of other people in order not to see our own faults. Yeah? But without sati, yeah? Without my training of concentration, yeah? Of sati, I wouldn't be even aware of that. Yeah? So sati is the first thing that you really have to work hard, and you have to train it every day. Yeah? At least, twice a day. Yeah? For 40 minutes, yeah? In the morning, just when you wake up, the first thing you do is, get out the dreams. Yeah? Don't even think about, what the meaning of the dreams is, yeah? It's just like you daydream during the day, yeah? Yeah? And in the night you do the same thing, yeah? Yeah? And now we try to think, there must be some importance to this dream, yeah? It's just like as much as importance as to our daydreaming during the day, yeah? Don't even think about it. People are writing down their dreams, maybe it tells me something, The heart tells us everything. Yeah? In the night we think, during the day we think, where's the importance? Why is the night more important, than the day? Huh? No reason. Yeah? When we stop thinking, other things might appear. Yeah? But they normally appear only in our meditation. Yeah? If something is important. Yeah? Then they come up as nimittas. But that doesn't have to happen. Yeah? So sati, yeah. So tough the life, huh? I mean, with your energy, you can't even start. You can't even start a marathon, yeah. 2 steps, 3 steps. Huh? I mean, you need some energy. You need some motivation, and age is not an excuse, huh? The chitta is young, huh? The chitta is as young, has as lot energy as anybody else, as a youngster, yeah? Age is not an excuse for our laziness, yeah? We don't need, for meditation, we don't need the energy of the body, huh? No. I mean, the body doesn't need actually any energy if it doesn't do walking meditation, yeah? We would need the concentration on the chitta, yeah? And that's the energy of the heart, yeah? But if you let it go all in our directions, yeah? Then of course you have no energy. Oh, I have no energy. You are the one who limits yourself. Yeah? Oh, I'm too old, I can't do meditation. As long as you breathe in and breathe out, you can meditate. Huh? Huh? Age is no excuse. Yeah? It's a little bit tougher on the body, sometimes, if you do walking meditation. But the mind has the energy, all it needs. Yeah? Huh? Just wait, until you die, and the chitta flips out, and I mean, it has so much power, so much energy, just looking for the next body. Yeah? And then it goes into the next body, it's a young body, yeah? I mean, if it is born as a human being. And then it, struggles in the warmth, wants to come out again, yeah? There's nothing to do, with the body, yeah? The body is just a car that doesn't run as fast, when it's old, walks a little bit slower, yeah? The chitta still has the same energy, yeah? No matter if it is young, no matter if it is old, yeah? That's not an excuse, yeah? Don't think, I'm so old, yeah? The chitta is young. It's always young. Understood? Only we have to concentrate it into one point, yeah? I mean, think about it, think about the water tank. Yeah, I mean, you have 10,000 liters of water, precious water, yeah? Life, yeah? But you have 20,000 holes where the water drips out, yeah? There's nothing in, yeah? It all drips out on all different things, yeah? Now, in meditation, we cluster up all these holes, and then the energy of the whole water tank stays inside. That's the energy we have. I mean, the chitta has powers, enormous powers. Yeah? And it doesn't depend on the physical body. Yeah? If he wants to do something, he can. Yeah? But we just think about how life is so hard, life is so We limit ourselves. We are the ones who limit ourselves. We limit our possibilities. I can't do it, yeah? Why not? Let's try it, and you see you can do it. You can learn anything that you want, yeah? Even if you want to become a doctor, you can learn it, yeah? If you want to become an engineer, you can learn it, yeah? I mean, I don't say it's easy, but you can. Don't limit yourself. But strengthen your sati, yeah? That's important, yeah? And do reflection of what, where do you waste all your energy, huh? Make just, I mean, with your money you do it, huh? Where's all my money going? You write it down. Huh? Where's all my energy going? I don't know. It just disappears. It dissipates. Huh? Into thin air. Yeah? I mean, if you would look like after your chitta just like you look after your money, I mean, wow. I mean, I would see a room full of energy, you know? Huh? Think about it, yeah? I mean, money seems to be much more worthwhile than your own chitta. Huh? Are the things there? Think about it, okay? So, move a little bit, you know, get up, you know, and in 5 minutes you can then ask questions.